So I made a video about how White Fox is not a healer and how you should be playing her. Now the video wasn't fully saying that, she's not like fully a healer. It was more to say like she doesn't heal as much as others. But two things happened. First off, I played the character more and I ended up realizing that her healing, even before this new patch, was actually pretty good. Like it actually wasn't even that bad. I was able to get like decent healing numbers with like just normally because of a difference of how I started playing, which is actually displayed in that video, which is standing behind your tanks so you can hit your shots a little more. But it didn't mention actually, at least not in depth or like any type of importance, that you could actually bounce off walls way more than you think you can. Like you can get a lot of mileage just bouncing off the walls. Now you don't want to bounce off the walls when you don't have to, but when you can, it can help you immensely because the edge of your range, right? The edge of your range, wherever you're shooting, you have a limited amount of range. And if you're just shooting like, like in a straight line, you're going to realize you're not hitting much. But if you angle it down, you now have a better way to hit things. It hits things way more often. And you literally extend the range of your main attack because you're aiming at the ground. So at long distances, and even when people are like hard to hit, of course, it's always good to aim like towards like the ground, or if you're healing, like if you're trying to heal a flyer or hit a flyer, you can also hit towards a wall and it will, or towards like a nearby ledge or whatever, and it will hit them. Basically treat it like this. If things are hard to hit, if things are easy to hit, always hit them straight on because you can do more damage. But if they're hard to hit, you can always bank it like Squirrel Girl. And if you're a Squirrel Girl man, you're going to enjoy it, is all I'm saying. But you can always bank it like Squirrel Girl and just sort of be like, all right, I'm going to bank it off this. Boom, 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 boom. And you're going to throw it nearby to them. And you're going to be like, all right, I got it. Bing, bang, boom. Got it. That's my first thing to say. Now, I was going to talk about the changes. So mainly, the main changes that happened are, I think the biggest one is that your Spectral Surge, the thing that shoots forward and it gives a charm to the enemies and heals your allies. It now actually, and it makes them invulnerable too, which is nice, but it now actually gives you health. You actually heal from it. So now that you heal from it, not much, like 50 health, but you still heal. And it's a decent amount of healing for you just spamming it a lot of the time, which is what you're doing a lot of time, is just you're just sitting behind your tanks, spamming them with heals and spamming this ability. That's what you're doing 90% of the time, let's be honest. So, you're spamming them with this ability and you're healing yourself up. It was hard to heal yourself before. You had to go enter Fox form just to heal. But now there might not even be a reason to go into Fox form because they didn't even buff it. They didn't even buff Fox form. Now the only thing that they did for Fox form to keep it actually a little bit buffed is so like easier to use, is actually they made it so when you like spawn in, you now have your Spear Tails. And also when you get out of your ultimate, you have your Spirit Tails. So you can go right into Fox form right out of your ultimate if you would like to do so. Sometimes you're just going to want to, and actually oftentimes you're just going to teleport out. Also within your form, your 𝐥𝐢𝐬 form, your ultimate, you now don't have to worry about like, because usually you would just spam your main attack and then give, also spam giving your like whatever teammate the buffs that you can give them. But now you don't have to worry about that. Because usually what happened, I mean, you're still going to want to do that, definitely. But before, you would just like be at a net because you would spend health, but also gain health from hitting things. And it would be natural that you lose a lot of health from just being riddled by the enemy team. So you just die way quicker. But now that you don't expend health to actually give them that buff, you can now just focus on doing that damage and healing up. And now you're not expending health anymore, you're just healing, which makes you just last longer. And the only damage is not coming from yourself now for some reason. Now it's just coming from the enemy team. And that's going to be good. Of course, yes, you have to heal yourself by hitting them, but still, it's a lot better. And then the biggest change, I think, other than, of course, I think Spectral Surge was probably the biggest one. Because just being able to heal yourself like that is so good. But it's still her best ability, which I think her best ability is her teleport. Just having a teleport is just... Teleportation is just very strong. I don't know what else to tell you. Just being able to go anywhere at any point in time, it just seems a little strong, is all I'm saying. But and the fact it's on a 12-second cooldown, a little wild. But either way, now it actually heals a lot more and actually gives healing over time. So it gives 20 a second healing over time within it, right? And that is going to be much more useful for our playstyle, right? Our playstyle before it doesn't change your playstyle. Your playstyle before was sort of like you're trying to sit behind your tanks and like do your, use your Spectral Surge a lot, and then when the time was right, you're going to use your Gumiho form to go in, right? But now you can actually be a little more, it helps with the style of being aggressive, but you actually can be a little more like chill with it, and you can actually stay out of your Gumiho form more often. But of course, you're going to want to go into your Gumiho form at very specific intervals. Like, for example, let's say someone's diving, right? Like you have a Hulk diving, you want to use it. Or if, let's say there's a Strange in the front line and you're with them, you could hit them with your main attack, or you could hit him with your Gumiho form. And also, a lot of the time, using your Gumiho form is good for burst damage combos, and of course, using it for being able to just survive a little longer, because she has, even though you now heal from other stuff, you might be out of cooldowns at one point, and it'd be good to survive a little bit longer. So you're going to use it a lot of times for that. You're also going to not necessarily use it for damage, but for displacement, because for damage, you're going to want to use literally your main kit. It's just kind of a lot. Your main attack is just enough. But when you're using your Gumiho form, the Fox form, I think I keep saying Gumiho form, but they're different. Your Fox form, you are essentially like saying, hey, I'm using this form so I can survive. But not only survive, I'm using it so that I can sort of displace, because you have displace abilities, right? All of your attacks there either knock up or like slow or dash or whatever. And you can just displace people. And in displacements, you could say, oh, but it's not enough damage. The main attack is more damage. I get that. But displacement is so powerful. Displacement in general is more powerful than a lot of other things. So just being able to displace is very powerful. So you mostly want to use that form to displace, which means you don't even need all your max tails anyway, because you're just trying to displace. And even staying in that form has always been good, because you just survive. You just keep hitting stuff and you survive. And that's the biggest reason why I end up having high healing numbers and damage numbers, is because you just live long as that character. You just live long as her. And it's a common thing where you'll go in and you'll realize that like you die so quick without the Fox form if you're like outside of it. But if you got Fox form, you ain't dying. I mean, you might die, but like you basically, when you're using Fox form, you're saying, I don't want to die today. I do not want to die today. I don't want to. No, thank you. It's just another tool in your kit. So don't think of Gumiho form, or sorry, the Fox form is like, I need to get in there at all times. Just use it as a part in your kit. You need to use it as like, honestly, a last resort. Because to be honest, it's a 15-second cooldown. So if you use it and then you're like left as a sitting duck and you get dove, what are you gonna do? You got dove. You have these literal displacement effects that you can displace a like Black Panther coming towards you. You can literally you have a combo that can essentially one-shot him. Well, I mean, not one shot, but you know what I mean. Like, you can kill him with your combo. You can combo him and kill him pretty quick, just in that form, and displace him. If you don't have the ability because you just used it randomly, he's gonna kill you. So now you want to be even more so. You did that before. Like, that's how you wanted to play. You want to make sure that you don't use it randomly. You want to use it when you want to survive. Usually you just use it for health, which is funny enough. But now you can be, you can use your regular form a little bit more, and you can be more liberal with your like ability usage and stuff. Even your like teleport, you can teleport more often just to heal. You can do that too. But with your Gumiho form, you still want to be sort of reserved with it a little bit more. Oh, sorry, not Gumiho, Fox form. You want to be a little bit more reserved, because realistically, you're gonna need it for a diver, or if like something dumb happens. Some stupid person's trying to, like, a Thor's trying to brawl with you, and you're just like, all right, I have to somehow survive this. And you could survive Thor by teleporting away, but if you ain't got no teleport, or you actually want to brawl him, then you think you could actually beat him or survive for a bit, then yeah, of course, using your Fox form is going to help you out, especially with the displacement effects. But either way, I think I've literally talked this whole thing to death. But I wanted to basically just make this update because there was an update to the character, and I think that she's been like sort of less of a healer, more of like a tank / DPS now. She's a bit of all, but a lot more of a healer. I would fully now consider her fully a healer. But even before, she was pretty good at healing. It's now just like, okay, solidified. You are a healer now, because everything is really looking good for that. And she can still do a bunch of damage, so that's pretty good. I'd say just pick her up, play her. She's gonna do damage. She's gonna heal. She's just gonna do all good stuff. And remember to use Spectral Surge off cooldown every time, because that's gonna be absolutely crazy. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, go heal your teammates. Go Fox out, you know, and displace a Black Panther hurting your team or whatever. And have fun, man. Have fun. You know. By the way, the good thing is with that Fox form is people, you know, you look at it like baseline and you're like, okay, it doesn't seem that good. Or like you think, okay, well, the displacement effects are good, right? But you can't use them all the time. It's like, yeah, I mean, technically you can't use like all the displacement effects all the time, but you're for example, your one that knocks them up, that one comes off cooldown pretty fast. You can use that multiple times, and a lot of times, especially when you're at like max stacks, you can actually use your dash twice. So that means you get two dashes within that form. So when I'm talking about like, oh, you can use it for displacement, I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying, oh, you can use it for displacement like one time. Like if you actually wait the full duration, not that you would usually always want to, sometimes you just want to get out. But if you wait the whole duration, you know, like you can use your abilities again. Like you can use your knock up again. You can dash like another time. You can basically use each one of those like abilities 2 times pretty much. If you're like really quick, right? And it's like the potential that's kind of like Emma. Like Emma goes into her form, she uses her displacement effect, and then she goes out. that's kind of, it's literally just Emma's ability. In fact, it's actually better. You go into the form, you displace someone, right? Like how she slams them and kicks them against the wall. You literally just displace them, and then you go out. That's all it needs to be. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm talking this to death, but I guess I'm just trying to extend the length of the video so that we can. There's no reason to extend the length of the video. I don't even have AdSense enabled right now. Not even monetized yet. This is dumb. I gotta get it to 8 minutes. It's past 8 minutes already, bro. Wrap it up. Anyway, that's about it. If you like the video, make sure to, you know, leave a like real quick. You know what I'm saying? Might as well subscribe for more W content. I got a Ko-fi if you like want my voice custom for you to use on something or whatever, then go check out my Ko-fi in the description down below. Channel link everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the main link. Go check it out to order my voice. And with that being said, watch the video that is on the screen. I hope you like it. And I'm sure you will.